Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube and our first review debate of Hawkeye, episode 1 and 2, currently on Disney Plus, and I'm here with my good friend Tracksuit Kingpin, also known as Gary, also known as Bossman. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right.
And I'm doing all right too. Before you ask, so this was the first episode and the second episode. We've got a double bill starting off this particular season. I think there's only 6 episodes in this season, so it's going to be interesting to see where we go from there. But it started off pretty quick with the first episode getting us to know Kate Bishop initially, as well as seeing what's happened to Clint Barton, and then them two getting together very early on, pretty much by the end of the episode, and then we see them as a duo from the second episode onwards. So before I start going into some of the details, how did you find this episode? How did you find these first 2 episodes, first of all? Because I think there's a lot of heart in this show, and it doesn't need to, for me, it doesn't need to be action packed, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm just liking some of the dynamics and some of the struggles these guys have to go through. But nevertheless, what did you think, Gary?
First of all, I thought it was much different than I thought in a good way, and I'll explain what way in a minute. But I thought, first of all, it had a lot more emotion to it than I thought. So, because Hawkeye was someone who saved her life and stuff like that, and the thing is that he's somebody who people kind of poo-pooing because he doesn't really have quote-unquote superpowers, but his power is he's really, really, really accurate with a bow.
Yeah, man, that's a superpower. You can't be that accurate and not see that as a superpower, in my
But
opinion.
there are people who poo-poo him online saying all he does is fire arrows. I was like, dude, you do know that, if he was in the Olympics, he'd win the gold.
Every day of the fucking week.
Because the thing is that the guy never misses. He's he's constantly on target with and we're not talking for like we're not talking like from me to the screen or me to the wall that's behind there. We're talking like me, like where I am, to maybe like Manchester City Hall. He could pick a point there and hit it there.
Remember, he shot that when he was still under the control of Loki. He shot that USB thing,
Yeah.
in the fucking cloud, and use the trajectory of the wind and everything to get it bang on, so that the fucking arrow would land right where it needed to land, and then so the USB drive would plug in and all of that, Yeah, the guy's accurate beyond belief. Let me just quickly look at some of the comments first of all before we start picking apart this episode. Daniel Vance here, but lurking kidney disease. I'm so sorry to hear that, mate.
Yeah, sorry about
I'm really sorry to hear that. Daniel, you get well, and I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Meds and bed for me. Well, I hope you watch this while you're in bed, dude. But you get well. I got Revolution Media, aka the Block. I'll be here till my boss says, "What the fuck." My favorite part was when Cliff, I think you mean Clint, was being abducted by the tracksuit mafia. He just tried to be a professional, wants the same out of them. Guys, I can see through the bag. Had me in stitches, yeah. Yeah. The tracksuit mafia did make me laugh. I like how Hawkeye and Widow don't have powers, but still pull their weight in the MCU. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are superheroes theoretically without any superpowers. Tony Stark is one of them. Even Ant-Man. Like their abilities come from their tech. Without their tech, then they're just regular dudes like me and you. But nevertheless, let's start breaking down this episode. So we start off in 2012, Bossman, and I knew that when we started off in 2012 that the attack on New York would, because we were in New York as well when we started off this episode, that the attack on New York would play a part, and it did. And then we see young Kate Bishop, seeing her mom and dad going through some turmoil. Don't really know what it's all about too much.
But I'm going to say something now, and you might disagree, but I'd love to see, the 2012 invasion be treated like 9/11? Because basically, you look at everything that's gone on, how many buildings, how many people died, how many people's families got ripped apart because of that attention. And no offense, if that happened in real life, that'd have like a 9/11 style memorial pulled to it. With people, and I'd rather that, like, maybe that's what brings back, her wanting to reconnect with her, that it's the 10-year anniversary and all that stuff, or near enough to 10-year anniversary, and like, and the fact that her mother has moved on and stuff like that. Sorry, we're going a bit past ourselves, but I thought this start, the start of the episode was one of the strongest starts I've seen from a Marvel television property so far, because it kicked into gear of something that we've all seen, if we've all seen the film, something that we know happened, and something that had a devastating effect. The thing is, we never saw the effect it had the normal New York.
Yeah.
And I think it was good to see that. And plus, the thing is that Vera Farmiga, how you pronounce her last name, and her dad were obviously having problems before the events happened, and he got sucked up by destroyed by the flaming hordes of flaming Thanos, apparently.
There's aliens.
Yeah. So so I thought it was really good, that bit, because it introduced her why she likes Clint better, why she gravitates towards him, she saw him save her life, that he's now her father figure. If you know.
Yeah, she definitely will be. Because we saw Kate obviously seeing Hawkeye, fighting off all those evil alien minions in the sky. On top of that building, on top of that corner of that building, and then he does that famous leap where he ends up shooting some sort of abseil arrow, and she sees all of that, and you can see that he's left a mark on her. She's been inspired. That moment changed her life. But after that, we find out obviously dad dies. Her mum and her survive, and then we cut to the present day, which is 2023. Excuse me.
It must be 2022 because that would make sense, because it's the 10-year anniversary. Because I think she was 12 when she was
but this is like 5 years later after Endgame, after Infinity War is 2023, and it's after the blip, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we see Rogers the musical, and I was in hysterics. You know what I mean? I could do this all day. That was fantastic. Oh my god, I was laughing so much. And we find out that Clint has a hearing aid, and later on it's just to do with the fact that he's been in so many battles, that even though he survived those battles, he's still been scarred by those battles.
Yeah, because you imagine like the noise, explosions, stuff like that would shatter a normal person's ear.
Yeah, breaking through buildings, head on, and all of that sort of stuff. It's going to have an effect on him. All those explosions as well. I mean, the explosion, by Thanos, before the final battle, would have really fucked him up. When they were playing basically pass the parcel with the Infinity Gauntlet. Nevertheless, we're watching the musical, and it's funny when we saw the camera on his kids. I was wondering what sort of expression would Clint be giving? Would he be impressed by it? Would he find it a bit cringy and all of that? And it was the latter. It was a bit cringy for him. You saw him; he wasn't too impressed. Yeah, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. It just like the PTSD was kicking in, because we saw a character playing Natasha. Sorry, I apologize. And it just reminded him that that his best friend is dead, and it plagued him. You can see that. And one of the things I liked about all of this was the fact that he was hurting, and he couldn't handle it anymore, and he left. And his kids are such good kids that they know who their dad is. They know what their dad's gone through, and instead of moaning and crying about it, they feel, okay, my dad can't handle this anymore. We're going to leave too, and I like that. I like that a lot. You know, the family in general, including the wife, they know what they're signed up to, boss man. You know, I mean, they know that their dad's an Avenger and he has to do shit, and I like that. I like that a lot.
I was going to say, well, like, I did choose actresses for his wife.
It's the same actress.
Is it Linda Cardellini who was his wife before?
Linda Carl, yeah, it's her. I'm glad you mentioned the name because that is her.
Because I recognise her.
What else has she been in?
Well, she was Thelma in Scooby Doo from the 90s. She was in. Oh, she's been in a lot of stuff. She's actually in this really good show. Oh my god,
she was, yeah. That's
she was in a really good show. What was it called? Bloodlines, where she plays one of the siblings in it.
Okay.
She's really good with that.
Well, the thing is with Clint Barton is that he's kind of like a spy, isn't he? Yeah. He's an assassin. He's a spy. He's a super soldier. He's not super soldier, but he's like he's an agent. But now, unfortunately for him, he's famous as well, and like he's trying to take a piss, and some geezer wants a fucking selfie with him. He goes, it's not the right time. He starts washing his hands, and the guy goes, is it the right time now? Oh my god, that was so fucking funny. We also saw Thanos was written on the sink as well. Like that's. He
kind of wasn't disappointed. It was more like, so like,
yeah,
really. So,
but you know.
But yeah, like you comes outside to and you can still see the music. And I mean that musical was cringe.
It made me laugh though.
We could do this all day. You could do this all day. You know. I mean, Georgia, I mean, very surprised if I'm not singing it. You know, by the end, somebody will just clip that out and make that into a bit. I'm sure, into a TikTok thing. I'm sure. But as I said, like the thing I enjoyed this is that like it introduced us to where he is now. We also introduced us to Kate Bishop and where she is. That she's, you know, she's a rich, privileged person who wants to, you know, mimic Hawkeye. And the thing is that like so
she got only a rich person can get away with destroying a fucking clock tower with a bell in it.
Oh, but I cannot believe that. That was ridiculous. I mean, that when she did that, and then like she goes, and she just clicked the bell, and all of a sudden, all you just see is, I'm sorry, I don't know any bell tower nerf itself, which has such structural integrity problems like that. It must be built by flaming, like, you know, Bob the Builder on a sidekick or something. What the fuck? Anyway, yeah. So I was like, I was a little bit like that. But like, her parents are like, her mother goes, "Well, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to cancel your credit cards." I'm like, oh no. So she has to live like the rest of us. And I thought it's like you know, like it's like my sympathy levels went from like that she lost her dad to the fact she's rich went from high to low. So like, I was like, you know, what do the rest of us do? You know.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, her mom has moved on. This is the funny thing, like my mother died, in 2013. And a couple of years later I was ready for my dad when my dad was like thinking about moving, you know, like meeting somebody else. And I told my dad, yeah, no problem. You know, I have no problem at all. You know, with my dad looking to meet someone. Yeah, he hasn't found anyone yet. I don't think he will now because he's quite old. So to see other people who don't want their parents to move on, you know, widowers, that is, especially, you know, it's been what, fucking 12, 13 years, you know, sorry, 11 years, I apologize. You would want your mum to, you know, to move on, surely, but
I think it's different for you because like the thing is that like you got to remember her dad was taking it and it was that quickly. She didn't get to say goodbye. She didn't get to have that emotional closure with him. So that wound is still open. Whereas again, I don't want to talk about your situation because again, it's not my business. But like there was closure. I'm sure there was closure there that you got to say goodbye.
I didn't expect my mum. It's funny in the way, like my mum was diagnosed in February and she died in July. It felt very, it felt very rushed.
No, but you know, I mean, you got closure there. You got to say goodbye. You got to go through that process with her passing away, where she didn't get that. He was literally taken away in an instant, and a lot of people feel like that. They feel like they're robbed of that closure.
Yeah.
And I think, and plus the stepdad is a total sleazeball. Let's
No. This is where I feel that we're being misled, boss man.
No, the guy's a total sleaze. He looks like. I'll tell you who he looks like. Who he reminds me of. Have you ever watched? IT Crowd? It reminds me a lot of. What's his face? His character. Who's the guy who did Today? That guy, the guy, the main guy from that. He's the character. The character he plays.
He looks a bit like Geraldo Rivera, in my opinion.
With the tash and the thing, and like sort of split back hair, and the fact that it's just like, and the way he speaks, he's like, this is good. It's like exaggerated talk, and it's like.
Well, his uncle was the guy from Four Weddings and a Funeral, the one who ended up being the English actor. He was the one who ended up being the funeral. He played a very eccentric character in that show, but he did a good American accent in this. He played was his name Jack? That's the name of the guy with the tash.
I didn't quite.
I think his name is Jack. Yeah, his name is Jack. So I wrote that down in my notes. He ended up playing his uncle in this, and we get a moment in this first episode where Haley and her mum have to go to some fancy shindig. It just so happens that Haley's wearing this black suit that happens to be the same as what the waiters are wearing. Sorry?
Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld's the actress.
Sorry, I apologize. Kate Bishop ends up wearing the suit, the same as which is the same as the waiter. She's rocking that suit really well, by the way.
I mean, how old is Haley Steinfeld?
She's in real life. She's 24.
Yeah, because she was pretty young when she.
Well, her character is supposed to be 22, because in this show, she can
pass for it.
Yeah,
she's different.
She would have been about 24, 23 when she was making this.
Yes, but yeah, she could definitely pass for it. And plus, the thing is that she's not really. And by the way, this is not sucking off the way she looks, but she's not really well built. She's quite thin. She's quite wiry.
She's slender.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But she's more built like a gymnast than she is like.
Which is right sort of physique she needs for this sort of role. She's an athlete.
Yeah. So she looks more. She does look athletic, and the thing is that she. I just don't. I kind of did. I'll get into a bit why I didn't kind of like her character trajectory so far, but I'll get into why in a minute. But her performance is great. I like it, and I love the fact that the uniform is on the black market. That's very, especially considering what the Vulture did in Spider-Man: Homecoming and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, we see there is she sneaks into this underground sort of auction, pretending to be one of the waiters, and we find certain things being bidded on. We see the Ronin sword, and then the Ronin suit. They're both being bidded on, and then boom, there's a break-in at this place, and it's the Tracksuit Mafia, and they're looking for a watch. Now we do get a glimpse of this watch at some particular point. The watch, it just looks like a shabby watch. Doesn't look very spectacular, this watch. But the Tracksuit Mafia wants this watch.
Where were they from? Was it from? They're from one of these. I'm not sure if it's from Was it from Winter Soldier, or was it from another one?
See, I don't know. I don't know what this watch is from. I was
No,
listening to some theories.
I mean, these guys, where are they from? Because I've seen them before.
No, this is the first time. I think this is the first time they've been introduced.
No, they've been introduced before.
I don't remember. But
anyway, and plus, to be honest with you, I mean, like, why are they here? I mean, like, they're starting. Do you know what? They're starting. Again, I don't know if they've only played in one episode, so forgive me. They're
2 episodes.
All right, but they're starting to, for me, be on the same sort of level as a hand. In that I could tolerate them for a couple of episodes, but after that, they start to annoy me.
Yeah, but they're not like some underground organization. They're more like gangsters. Yeah, I mean, they're not like some secret society. They're just like they're very gay, And they made me laugh. You go, "Hey, bro," with their fucking Eastern European accents. It's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but yeah, the first episode I thought was good and is established there that Clint Barton wants to like get out, but he needs to clean up some things. And I like the fact that I actually thought him and his wife had like kind of broken up.
Well, that's what some people might have assumed in the trailers because we never saw him and his wife together. But we found out earlier on that it was his wife who suggested that he get some like sort of bonding time with the kids without maybe the mum being a buffer. You know what I mean? So it would be him being the parent. Anyways, like I said, so they break in. They want to take this. They're looking for the watch. The watch is the primary thing. They end up getting the watch. But I think then Kate or the dog takes off one of the tracksuit mafia guys. Now there are speculation regarding the watch, like the watch could belong to Tony Stark, it could belong to Howard Stark, it could belong to Hank Pym. There's a lot of people, saying who this watch could belong to. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with the watch. But this is not the last of it, in my opinion. But it was only briefly mentioned in this episode, in the first episode, before they moved on from that. We also see the dog with no name. We've got one eye. Raggedy Mutt.
Do you know what? I've got a name for the dog. Lord John Silver. There you go.
Say again.
Lord John Silver.
That's the name of the dog.
No, that's the name of it because it looks like a parrot.
It looks like a parrot. It looks like a pirate. Yeah.
But yeah, that dog's so adorable, unreal though. I love that dog so much because he's like I don't know who's training the bloody thing, but he must be like I don't know. I think one of those eyes must be like fake or something. Because no way they got a flaming one-eyed dog.
Well, look, we see Kate Bishop. She ends up having to put on the Ronin suit, and she starts kicking a little bit of ass. She's not like massively amazing.
I tell you what she is. She isn't good. She isn't bad. She's competent. That's what she is.
Yeah.
She can handle herself all right.
And she's creative, a little bit creative.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the thing is that she's out of her league with some of these people because
there's too many people, and she can't handle herself. And eventually, she gets cornered by the tracksuit mafia. And lo and behold, who comes to save the day but Hawkeye himself, Clint Barton. He obviously finds out that
was a little bit of what's the word? That was a little bit coincidental for me because he was looking for her because of that.
But that's what he does, though, doesn't he? Like he's good at tracking people down, so it's part of his skill set, so to speak. So he comes in like fucking Batman, takes out the tracksuit mafia, and then that's how the first episode ends. It then continues, obviously, with Barton questioning Kate Bishop regarding the suit, and he wants the suit back. Now he's got a real hard on for this fucking suit. I've never known the guys that want the suit so fucking badly.
But I think it's because of what it represents. Because it represents part of his identity that he lost.
Yeah, I guess it just seemed really like the suit wasn't even the main thing. It was the watch, really. But the tracksuit mafia tracks down, no pun intended, Kate Bishop to her home because being rich, she's got a nice apartment and stuff. She's also got the dog there and everything. And they burn her house down, and the suit gets left there, and it gets taken by one of the firemen who is part of this LARPers thing, which these fucking Americans like to do. Which is like role playing bollocks.
That was episode 2.
Yeah, we're on to episode 2.
Yeah, well, actually, British people do it as well. I mean,
we do.
Yeah, there are laps in this country.
All right, fair enough. I just gave me.
I mean, the biggest ones are the World of Darkness stuff.
Say again.
The World of Darkness. So,
okay, fair enough.
Vampire the Masquerade and Flaming Wolf the Apocalypse and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not into that stuff. But I'm into D&D, but I'm not into Flaming that. Even I have my limits. And dressing up like a flaming clown isn't just one of them.
Well, Kent was able to infiltrate Kate's home after it goes on fire by pretending to be a fireman, which is very clever. He realizes that maybe one of the firemen had taken the suit, looks at the LARPer things, and then uses his vast skills of detective work, being the sort of man that he is, to go on the internet and find these LARPers. Now, I'm not sure if this was the first episode or the second episode, but we also find out that Arnold III, aka the guy from 4 Weddings and a Funeral, is dead. He's been stabbed. He's bleeding on the floor. Luckily for Kate, she didn't get caught with the body because that housekeeper came in, I believe, and saw him dead there. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask a question. Who do you think had him killed? I mean, is it?
It's her mum. It's Kate's mum, without a doubt.
Well, I thought it was what's his name? The
Jack.
Yeah, I thought it's him.
No, you see, that's the thing, boss man. Yeah, everything is pointing towards him on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, she believes it's him. We're supposed to believe it's him. It's a bait and switch. It's a bait and switch, without a doubt. I'm willing to bet both my testicles, that this is, that he is not. He's actually going to be a stand-up guy. He's going to be one of the good guys.
He's a bit of a sleazebag.
Because we saw, but no, that's what we assume. Because we were looking at it from Kate's perspective. He hasn't been. I don't think he's been that sleazy at all. He's just trying to get along with his future stepdaughter. I tell you what, though, we did see Kate's mum arguing with Arnold before he died. Remember, they were having some beef. And Arnold had an issue with her as well. He was telling Kate about that. In my opinion, we're going to find out that the overall big bad, the big villain of all of this, is going to be Kate's mum. I bet my fucking testicles. But
you could be right. I mean, the thing is that it's played by a major actress, so it could be. But the thing is that I mean, in my opinion, she'll be working for somebody.
Maybe the Kingpin.
Could do. I mean, like, as I said, like the guy who was, he was kind of. I'm sorry. I mean, like this is one of the things that I was kind of like a little bit.
Well, there's so many things, boss. But like, when they were having dinner, and they did that fencing thing. Yeah, of course he was trying to make her win. He was just trying to make her happy. Because like when he did try to attack her, when she did try to attack him, his reflexes, like, not only knocked the sword, defended himself, but he knocked the sword out the hand. I found out as well that the same character who Jack is called the Swordsman in the comics, and he likes collecting swords, which is why he probably took the Ronin sword. I'm not saying that he's squeaky clean. I just don't think he's as bad as everyone assumes us to think that he is, because it's made to look like he is the bad guy when I really do feel it's a bait and switch. I do feel it's a red herring, all of that, whatever you want to fucking call it. So that's just my opinion on that. We have Hawkeye doing some, tracking down the LARPers. After he's had his moment with Kate Bishop, he tracks down the LARPers. And the LARPers, sorry, and they're doing some role-playing bollocks. And he has to eventually he finds the guy in the Ronin suit, and he makes a deal with him that if he pretend kills him, he will give him the suit back, and he does. He does. They have a little bit of role play, and this kind of shows you some of the character of Clint Barton, because he's a stand-up guy. He did what the guy wanted him to do. He knew he was an Avenger. He was able to say that he beat an Avenger. And then the fireman, being a fireman, we consider them to be stand-up men as well. He gave the suit back. No questions, no bullshit, no bait and switch, no turnaround. And so now hopefully the suit won't be a fucking issue for the rest of this goddamn show.
He had to give that guy his like a kill fantasy for his Avenger, and it was like,
yeah. But that's what heroes do, That's what he's a reluctant. Clint Barton is a reluctant hero, but he's a hero nevertheless. So he did what he had to do, and that was that, which was very nice of Clint to do. Now we did have a moment that kind of reminded me of Avengers Assemble, because I think now this is where Clint wants to infiltrate the tracksuit mafia and find out what's more going with them. So he intentionally gets himself captured. And when you see him sitting on that seat, and then we get to hear the tracksuit mafia talking to him, calling him bro and all of that, I just laughed so fucking much with their Eastern European accents as well. Maybe they were a bit clownish to a degree, competent but incompetent and all of that. But then Kate tries to do the rescue when she finds out that Clint's been kidnapped, and she's probably made things more difficult for Hawkeye, because now he has to take care of her as well as him. Because when he was on his own, he was probably going to do what Natasha did in Avengers Assemble and just break out of his chains and beat the shit out of everyone. But now with Kate there, he has something to, it's almost become his Achilles heel, even though Kate can look after herself. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get out of that situation. But then at the very end, very end, we see Echo. Echo was that girl in the room, and you could tell that she's deaf because the way that mafia guy was trying to communicate with her, I think he was using lip reading and a little bit of expressions with his, not sign language, but trying to express things with his hands. And Echo herself, she put her hand over the speakers because she's deaf. She can only really appreciate music through vibration, and that's probably how she, it's a weird way of explaining it, but that's probably how she hears the music, through the vibration, So that was Echo, and then it's interesting because the lady who plays Echo is actually deaf. She's also an amputee as well.
Really?
And yeah, she is. She's got one leg down to her knee, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this in the future. Apparently, Echo and Daredevil have had a romance in the comics and stuff like that. One blind superhero. Sorry?
Charlie Cox going to come back?
Sharon Cox?
No, Charlie Cox.
Oh, Charlie Cox. I'm not sure if he's going to be in this. And I don't think we. I think. I mean, I've heard there's rumors of Yelena, but Belova, or whatever the fuck her name is, Natasha's sister, is going to be in this show. So, because obviously she was teased at the end of Black Widow, because she was the one who was told by SoCal Val to fucking kill Clint Barton. Remember?
Yeah. In
the after credit scenes.
Yeah. So we're gonna get Florence Pugh in this. All right, I'm up for that because I like Florence Pugh. Yeah.
There's so many rumors. Rumors are that we might get Kingpin in this as well. But Echo is a daughter of Kingpin, not a blood daughter, but like adopted daughter.
Adopted. And
it's gonna be interesting to see where we go with Echo in the future. But it's interesting, like these disabled sort of superheroes or supervillains in this particular case. She might go anti-hero, and Echo will have her own show, as we saw in the Disney Plus.
Well, that's cool because apparently the actress is like Latino / Native American, so that's good. That
something along those lines.
So it's good to have a minority who's also a minority in the fact that she's disabled, be given her own show. That's progress.
Yeah, but will she be a villain? Will it be a show about a villain, or will it be
No,
like the same
she's a
sort of vein
hero
as
in-
Loki?
She's a hero in the comics.
Yeah, but so far she's a villain, so it'll be interesting to see how she changes if she does change. You know,
Because she's
and
just
I want.
in the tracksuit mafia.
And it's also communication as well with deaf people, because they're deaf, they don't get to hear how they're supposed to sound, which is why they sound when deaf people speak. You know, they sound a little bit incoherent with their words because they haven't got a good grasp of how it's supposed to sound. So it'll be interesting to see how she communicates in this show. You know, I'm looking forward to that. Get the hell off my head. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see that. But yeah, it left on a decent cliffhanger with the introduction of Echo, and we'll see where we go from there. But overall, very impressed. I did enjoy this show. I love the heart of it. You know, I love. God damn it.
While Dan's bird attacked him. Yeah, I've got to say that again. Like this, it had a little bit of a different feel than the other shows. Like, it didn't feel like Loki. It didn't feel like Captain, like the Winter Soldier. It didn't feel like.
It didn't feel like the world was going to end.
Wonder Village. It felt a little bit like this was a different sort of feel. Like this was a bit more, had a bit more heart in it. Like it's a very I'm going to use a cliche now. You're probably going to roll your eyes. It felt like a family feel.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being Christmassy and all, I could definitely understand it being a lot more family. But I like the fact that the stakes are high but different high. Clint Barton just needs to get back to his family for Christmas. You know, that's really what it is. Will he get back to his family? And I think he will. And not only will I can't imagine him missing out on Christmas. I really don't think he'll miss out. But not only will he get back to his family, I think Kate Bishop will be with him as well.
Right.
She'll be like the new big sister of the family.
Right, but the thing is I am very shocked that Marvel have put Jeremy Renner.
I know, because he pointed a gun at his ex-wife or something, didn't he?
Well, yeah, well, something like that. She accused him of abusing her and stuff, and it's like. And considering the date and age we live in, I'm surprised that he didn't.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. Oh, okay, you can't get enough of my teeth. When I heard about the accusations made towards Jeremy Renner, I thought that's it, he's done. I mean, the guy's pointing fucking weapons at his ex-girlfriend or his girlfriend or his wife or whatever the fuck. There's no way he'll come back. And with the way Endgame ended with him getting his family back, it tied a nice bow to his arc, his story, so to speak. Yeah, there's no more story to tell for Clint Barton. So they could have easily just left him, but somehow he got back into the good graces. And
well, I think the thing
even
is
after what he's done,
sorry. I think what he did was the smart thing to do. Was he shut the hell up? I said to him, "Look, I understand if you want to move on, which is the right thing to do."
Well, he's working with people's children. You know, one of them is is it the Russo brothers?
Yeah,
one of them is the Russo brothers. Yeah, one of their daughters he's working with. After what he's done, you know, that guy Renner is hugging and cradling these children. After what he's fucking done. You know, like, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. But I don't know how to say it. I don't say he handled it the right way, because I still find it hard to believe that, he's still in with Disney after what he's done.
But he got accused of doing it. Accused of doing it. He didn't.
Yeah, he got accused, but he just kept his head down, didn't he?
No, he did the smart thing. He shut the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. He kept his head down.
People talk about cancel culture, right? As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of cancel culture, because the thing is, allegation is not proof of anything but the allegation.
Yeah.
And again, like, the thing is that, like, as much as the victim should be heard, so should his side. and then people can make whatever judgment they want. That's what the Disney or the courts or whoever is going to determine this, where the true value is. Though if he did this, that's something that he needs help with, and I think he should take a break if that gets proven to be the case. Because that's my actual feeling. Because hey, if Michael Vick can fight dogs and get a second chance, then why can't people with this? And that's the thing that bothers me.
So what the hell happened? What the hell happened actually? How did he get? What was the final resolution to this? Is it still being continued?
Well, he addressed it in a magazine. See if I can find it for you. 1 second, if that's all right.
Yeah, no problem. You want to share it?
Jeremy Renner. Just 1 sec. See if abuse accusations.
Honestly, that was some serious shit he got abused for.
This is from page. I'm not sure how legit this page is, but it's the one I could find, or the first one I could find.
Let's share it. You hit the share button, and they'll be able to add it.
I've put it in private chat for you.
Okay. Let's have a look. See. Oh, she's gorgeous, this lady.
Yeah, that's his ex-wife.
Okay, let's read this article. Jeremy Renner is brushing off. Oh, by the way, one of this article, November the 18th. Okay, so it's really recent. Jeremy Renner is brushing off his ex-wife Sony Pacio's damning claims that he once threatened to kill her. I don't respond publicly or privately to nonsense, the Hawkeye star 50 told Men's Health in an interview published Wednesday. It only empowers it. If you respond to it, you give it gas. I don't fuel shit fires. I just don't do it. I refuse to. Pacio, who was married to Renner from 2014 to 2015 and shared an 8-year-old daughter, Ava, with the actor, has alleged that her ex has been physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive to her. In court documents filed in 2019, the actress claimed Renner put a gun into his mouth and threatened to kill himself before firing the gun into the ceiling with their child asleep in the bedroom. She also alleged that a nanny heard the Hurt Locker star say he was going to kill Pacio and then kill himself because it was better that Ava had no parents than to have Sony as a mother. Renner's rep told Page 6 at the time that this is a matter for the courts to decide. It's important to note the dramatizations made in Sony's declaration are a one-sided account made with a specific goal in mind. Pacio 30 also alleged in court documents filed in July 2020 that Renner had a long history of alcohol and drug abuse, which has persisted since before the parties' marriage through divorce and post-judgment, and asked a judge to require him to do routine drug testing. Renner responded in the court documents there's absolutely no basis for this court to grant the request relief with respect to a drug test. Pacio filed to divorce Renner in 2014, just 10 months after they secretly got married. They originally agreed to share custody in April 2015. In July 2014, Pacio alleged the actor was nearly $50,000 behind on paying child support. In 2016, Renner finally agreed to pay $16,000 for support and $24,000 to cover her legal and accounting fees. In March 2020, Renner requested his child support payments be lowered due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and Pacio told us in response at the time, it's very disheartening that in a time of global crisis, there's yet another attempt to reduce funds I rely on to provide for our child. The action star wanted his monthly payment reduced from $30,000 to monthly payments, Jesus Christ, to $11,000. The May 2020.
I'm starting to get annoyed now.
Say again.
I'm getting annoyed now. So this is per month. This is not per year. This is per month.
Per month, yeah. 30,000 to 11,000. I mean, it's...
Oh no! How do the rest of us kids who only have to pay
11,000 a month? You'll be laughing. Yes, that's great money.
How much do you win a month? I get paid like 1,000 after tax, about 1,003. I think, and I don't know how much after tax you get paid, but I'm damn sure it's not going to be anywhere in that neighborhood.
It mixes every week because being a cabbie, I have to make money on what I get on my fares, and some weeks are better than
Anyways,
others, mate.
let's continue. Right. So
Anyway, Pasha denied the allegation at the time, and exclusively told us this is a small insight of what I've been dealing with over the years, which leads us to now the upcoming court case about the misappropriating Ava's funds and Jeremy seeking to reduce child support. The Canadian artist then added, "This is coming from a man who are you still reading the story? If you are, this is part of when I've been muted, which honestly really sucks because the rest of it would make your jaw drop." Pasha did not immediately return page 6 request for comment on Brendan's most recent remarks that dismiss her claim.
yeah.
Look, I don't know what's going on to be precise, but I'll tell you this:
well,
if you're getting $30,000 a month, and it's dropped down to 11,000, and that's not enough for you, then there's something seriously wrong.
Your coke habit needs an eye love.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
I mean, I'm sorry, but both of us might to exist on less than that. Most people in the life that happen to do this, and the thing is that this is why you be careful who you marry. I mean, he was only married to her for a year, and she wanted a divorce. So that tells me she was after one thing and one thing only.
Let me just quickly mention to Bobby Blake. Remember when Jeremy Renner had those allegations about pointing a gun at his wife or pointing a gun at himself for it to kill himself and all of that sort of stuff? And I'll tell you what, Jeremy Renner rode that wave really well because, nothing really. We heard the story we heard the story once, and there was really not much story after that. Well, it has been updated. I'll send you the link actually.
Sorry. You're talking to Bobby, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to send it to you. I'm going to put it into you on your Facebook. You can have a read. It's an update on that, but it's hard to say what's going on. But there's one part which kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Is that Pasha, which is the name of Jeremy's ex-wife, she was upset that Jeremy was paying $30,000 a month in child support payments. $30,000 a month.
And she moaned about this.
And she moaned that it dropped down to 11. So from 30 to 11, you're telling me $11,000 a month is a month, not a year, a month. Yeah, you're telling me $11,000 is not enough, to take care of yourself and your child. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah. So he's got those allegations. And by the way, he tackled it in the exact right way. He didn't respond to anything. He said, "I'm not going to respond to nonsense either privately or publicly," which is right. Which is the right move. And the thing is that because as I said, Jeremy Renner for me, his greatest role is not on the Avenger stuff. His great role was when he was Jeffrey Dahmer. If you've never watched him be Jeffrey Dahmer, watch it. He's phenomenal in it.
Well, fair enough. I mean, he's a very talented actor. So I think he's good in everything he does. I mean, the first time I saw him was in The Hurt Locker, and that's kind of brought him to recognition. He's also in SWAT. He plays one of the bad guys in SWAT as well. But he became a household name in the Avengers, and after seeing, the guy's a musician as well. He's a singer. I listen to some of his music when I'm driving. You know what I mean? He's a very talented man, and it seems he didn't work out with this lady. They ended up having a kid, and it looks like she's trying to take him to the cleaners in every way possible. And if if you as a mother can't raise the kid on your own salary as well as an additional 11 grand from your ex, then there must be something wrong with you. Because I don't blame. Look, he is the father, and he probably wants best for his daughter, but he also knows that he's give a lot of that money is going to his ex, his lifestyle, keeping her happy. So I'm sure that's why he wanted to reduce the payments, because he knew
Why
his
I will
daughter
never get
wouldn't be
married
getting
again.
any of that money. So what's
Does
this you
Megan
just
know
sent
that?
me?
Oh, that's
It's the
Jeremy
full
Renner.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch that after you finish. Yeah, as I said, I recommend it very highly.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I like the fact that Cheeto was saying that I will never get married again. Does Megan know that? Gary's calls.
Nothing wrong in that, by the way. Just
No. I don't think there was. Just that you got to make sure you communicate that.
because, like, like for instance, I was having to explain to my uncle and auntie, who wants my dad to get married again. No, don't. I'm telling him he doesn't need to get married again. He just needs a partner. He doesn't have to get married. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that somebody I know, they've been in a relationship for years, but they got married before, and then I think the wife, her husband died of cancer. And and the thing is that they said, look, I love the person I'm with, I won't be with them for the rest of my life, but I can't get married because I'm still married to the person. There's two people I love in my life. The guy I'm with and the guy I was married to. And the thing is, I can understand that. And I again, the thing is that I understand for some people, they got burnt that once with with getting married, and they don't want to go through that again.
Sorry, let me just interrupt. Null, the god of symbiotes. Well, sorry, we kind of went on a tangent here, Null. Because we are talking about Hawkeye, the latest show on Disney Plus, episodes 1 and 2. And I'm not sure if you know, Jeremy Renner not too long ago was accused of abusing his now ex-wife and threatening to kill her with a gun and possibly kill himself and leave their child like an orphan or some shit like that. We kind of went on the tangent about that, but there are some further news on that story. Here's an article, by the way, if you want to have a look at it. This is the article. It came out on November the 18th, and it's an update on that situation with Jeremy Renner, and Jeremy Renner giving his 2 cents on it. And I have to be honest with you, I was kind of wrong on this. I thought Jeremy Renner was guilty as sin, but now looking at this, seeing this, I might be wrong. And it seems that his ex-wife, is kind of greedy, especially that she wants, she was getting $30,000 a month in child support from Renner,
and she's complaining about getting 11,000.
And she's complaining about getting 11,000.
Let's give people. She's complaining about getting 11,000 a month. How much coke are you snorting a month that you need that much money?
Exactly. And she's a young lady too. I mean, she's 20 years her junior. So
I think it's like, but you look at Jeremy Renner. The way he looks 50, he looks like.
No, I'm just saying that I think she's still got that youthful vibe about her, where she wants to just live a good life and to get as much money out of. I mean, when she got with Jeremy Renner, she probably thought she struck fucking gold. I'm with a fucking Avenger, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
I'm sorted for life.
She's hot. She's hot as hell. So I mean,
and she's hot as hell as well.
But but Jeremy, if you listen to this, right, get somebody who's also an actor. They won't try and grift you. They'll have their own money.
Yeah.
That's free advice from Gary Hall, your life advice counsel.
Or just somebody who's career minded, not necessarily an actress.
Yeah, get somebody who's in the music business, or get somebody who doesn't need your money.
Like for instance, like Julia Roberts, she ended up marrying a cameraman on one of the sets of one of her movies. And they're still together today. Which is amazing. It kind of made me think of like Notting Hill a little bit. Like life imitating art imitating life.
Well, I can't remember. Was it Gary Newman who married one of his fans or something?
Was it Gary Newman? I can't remember.
Yeah. Him and what's his name? Kid Creole and all that stuff. That he might be one of his fans as well. And the thing is that so.
Well, pop stars and fans, they've been fucking each other for God knows how long. I mean, the groupie thing's been going on, so it doesn't surprise me that eventually maybe one of them would end up marrying one of their fans. Not surprising at all. Anyways, boss man, I think we've spoken about this enough. We've got 2 episodes under our belt, and we're going to be talking about other shows as well in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
For a start, we have the He-Man show, which we'll try and get done within the next day or two. Yeah, you've already seen. I need to get on it actually. I was supposed to watch it today, but I ended up getting stuck in South London, and it took me longer to get back to North London than I wanted to, and I would have bloody ended up watching the show. But because of my lateness coming home, I ended up only had time to watch Hawkeye. But I'm going to be watching that.
It's very brief. You'll power through it because it is.
It's 25 minutes an episode. There's about 5 episodes.
Yeah, it's a breeze. It's a breeze watching it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I watched it
once. Didn't see it last night, so and it was good to watch. To us, as I said, like the best thing about it was that it was. I thought. Well, again, I'll tell you what I thought when you finished it, but
No problem. We'll leave it for another day. Star Trek Discovery. The next episode we'll be doing that tomorrow as well, and on Friday we'll be talking NWO versus DX. Just a bit of a trip down memory lane. We'll be getting some of our WrestleHead guys from NerdTube, like Gary. We'll be talking about that as well. Not only which faction was better, but on some occasions, I think on one occasion, DX actually invaded WCW.
I won't be here on Friday because it's my mate's birthday. And
no problem. We'll definitely find some WrestleHeads. Like D Jose.
I'm over the NWO fan than I am DX fan. I always thought that DX was overrated.
Well, I mean, it was run by the boss's son-in-law and his best mate. So,
all right. As I said, all you need to do to show how good they are. What's the NW promos with the black cutting, the black and white cutting, the ending scene, and all the sliding and stuff like that?
My only thing with the NWO is that it went on for too long.
It got overblown. That's what happened to it.
Yeah, for sure. And they're trying to make these different factions. 1 second. Sorry, I do apologize. Okay, right. So all right, so let's wrap this up here. So we'll catch you guys later for the next broadcast, which will be tomorrow for Star Trek Discovery, and you will obviously see a He-Man Revelations stream coming on within the next few days as well. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, but soon, I promise you that. Until then, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.